Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? How's your day been? Hey, look, we had a move day today. We've been at a new location. We're now up at Cooktown and looking forward to exploring this area. But I thought I'd jump on quickly because it's been a big day. We're doing a really quick dinner. We managed to score some really nice fresh pumpkin. I am loving, see the pumpkin? I am loving the fresh produce that we can source up here up north. Do say hi if you're watching, by the way. So I'm going to show you tonight how to make a quick pumpkin soup, but I'm also going to show you how easy it is to chuck in other veggies that need using as well. So it is on Cookie Do. It's a classic. It's been around for a long time. Those of you who've been to cooking class, I reckon you've seen this recipe. I would love to know in the chat as you're watching though, tell me your favorite soup combination or soup recipe. So maybe you've got flavors you like, or maybe you've got a recipe you like. I'd love to know about it. Put it in the chat box today. So let's get started on this recipe. I am going to change it. I'm no good at sticking to a recipe. You guys know this. So let's get start cooking. 1 brown onion, check. That is going to be done as a brown onion. Happy days. But I'm also going to chuck in garlic clove, and it's a massive clove. I told you, I love their fresh food up here. It's amazing. On with the lid. And we're going to chop it. 3 seconds, speed 5 is all it takes to chop in Thermomix. Now I am going to keep it dairy free. The next ingredient is butter. Let me just show you that chop, by the way. It'll have to be quick though because I don't want to cry at the Thermomix, but look at that. No chopping board required when you got a Thermomix. I mean, a little bit of a chopping board, but not much. Hey Carissa, totally relate. I'm not a soup fan, and we probably have it once each winter. However, I do love it as a quick dinner, and I love it, the texture it comes out of the Thermomix, that silkiness and smoothness. So certainly not something I would have on the planner regularly, but I don't mind a once off. So, and I couldn't help it with the beautiful fresh produce up here. So 20 grams of butter. I'm not using 20 grams of butter, I'm using 20 grams of oil. So keeping it dairy free, just swapping that out, easy swap. On with the measuring cup, and it's got 3 minutes, 120 degrees, speed 1. Let's spin that up. Now we know that when you've got a Thermomix in the kitchen, this is your time to prep your other ingredients. You've always got at dinner time a 3 to 5 minute cook time to chop up what you need next. So no matter what you're making, I have already chopped the pumpkin. Now let me give you some tips on pumpkin. Your pumpkin has seeds in it. You can use them if you like. They do leave a little taste, so I don't use all of them. I personally don't like it. My family don't seem to care, but maybe I'm a bit more picky than they are. You won't notice it there in the end because it comes out silky, silky smooth, but I feel like there's a taste. Maybe it's just me. The skin. Now I have peeled most of the skin off. There are times when I'm in a real hurry and I'll leave that skin on. Again, I feel I can taste it, but like it's got a bit more of a starchiness to it. I do leave a bit on though. Like I'm not particular that I take every chunk off. So you'll notice, there's chunks that have it. Now I have a cauliflower. I told you, beautiful produce, but it needs to be eaten. I'm going to sneak this into this pumpkin soup today. It's actually going to just become part of pumpkin soup, and I'm also putting a carrot in. The other necessary ingredient in here is actually your veggie stock paste. You need to have veggie stock paste. It is not the same without veggie stock paste. It lifts that flavour immensely. There's another ingredient I will add today, which is cumin, only because I love pumpkin soup with cumin. It's one of those things that I remember years ago going to a restaurant. This was like probably when I was an early young adult kind of person, no kids, not having to cook for myself probably. And I just love that cumin in it, and so I still do that to this day, which really hides those other things anyway. But I'm just looking at, there's a question there. Oh, I love this. Red pepper and tomato soup. Yum. I loved tomato soup as a kid. I remember that. That was one of my favourites out of a tin. Now I can make it fresh in the Thermomix, although I don't. As I said, probably once every winter is about all we do. And that is a fantastic question. Does pumpkin dull the blades? No, it does not. So the Thermomix blades are designed to actually blunten over time. So they come super sharp from the factory. However, that can be a bit unsafe for our fingers. So they're actually designed to dull down. It's the shape and the speed that chops your Thermomix, your food in your Thermomix. So no, it won't dull your blades at all. You can mill all sorts of things that will actually be far more, I guess you could say, abrasive to your blades. But no, it doesn't. And the speed and shape, as I said, is what cuts. It's a triangular fronted blade, so that is why it chops so beautifully. But great question, I love that. So please ask questions as you think of them. 20 seconds to go, and we're nearly done. It is smelling phenomenal in here. Another little tip, if you like your onion super cooked or even more sweetened, by all means extend your time. I had a conversation with someone on the phone today about this. She was saying how she finds it doesn't cook her onions long enough, and I think this would be variable depending on the size of your onion. Like if I had a massive onion today, but if you just have a little spring onion, it's going to cook a lot quicker, right? So by all means, override it. It's only guided cooking. It's guided, not a rule. So just override it, double the time if you like. By all means, take control of that with your Thermomixing. All right, 95 degrees inside, nice and hot. Okay, 500 grams of pumpkin. No, it doesn't have to be pumpkin. It can be whatever you've got in chunks so that they can cook, okay? I don't know how much exactly I ended up with here. We'll soon find out. And as I said, there are a few seeds in there, and that's okay. Oh, what did I do? I mustn't have pushed tear on the blades, on the machine. Let's give that a go and have a look. Let's put the lid back on and see, or actually it could be that it's also sitting on my top there. 452, that'll do. All right, next up, 1 carrot cut into pieces. Notice how it doesn't say peeled. You don't need to peel it, okay? And you can even put the little ends in. These bits, they're edible. You can eat them. Don't waste them. Now, you could put anything else in here. You could put zucchinis, another carrot. If you've got something to use up, I've been known to hide broccoli stems in there. Just use them as well. So whatever you want that needs using, chuck it in. Veggie soup, amazing in the Thermomix, because the next ingredient, oh no, hang on, we got to get to that, is what lifts this flavor so beautifully. Let's chop this down. 15 seconds, speed 7. Now, you'll hear it go up slowly to speed because it's hot. It is clever enough. So the Thermomix is clever enough to know, hey, I'm hot. You can see the red, well, it's now gone green. It was red a second ago. And it takes it up slowly. It is a safety override. It is perfectly normal. If I had coleslaw ingredients in there and I spun that up to speed, it just would have gone straight to speed. A bit like hitting the foot on the floor in the car at the traffic lights. It just would have gone bang. However, because it was hot, it went gradually up through, okay? It's designed that way. It is so clever. Let me show you that chop. 15-second chop. How cool is that? Now, I know some of you guys might like roasted pumpkin. Do it with roasted pumpkin. That's perfectly fine. Scrape down the sides. Meh. Okay, 500 grams of water. Now, little tip here as well. It says to adjust. Depending on the texture at the end, you may want more water in there, and that's okay. It really, our vegetables are so different and unique, and that's why it makes it tricky to say there's a rule for this. Because some of your veggies have a higher water content, and even sometimes when different pumpkins will have a higher water content. So some will be more starchier and thicker, and some will have the water in it and be runnier. So just, it does say adjust that if needed. Veggie stock, this is the necessary, okay? This is what lifts your soup. If you've ever had soup and you were like, oh, that's really bland, this is what's missing. 1 tablespoon of stock in it. Now, my stock, did I show you guys how to make this the other day, or did I dream that I was going to and I didn't? I ran out, so I had to make it on the road. It is, I had frozen some herbs from the garden, so it was old herbs. I did buy some celery, and I used the celery leaves. You know, to use those leaves are the best part to use because you're not going to use them for anything else anyway, so you might as well use them in this. Although if you need to skip it because you don't have it, just put an extra zucchini in. So zucchini, carrot, tomato, I put some capsicum, had a dead looking spinach bag in there, that went in there, hence the reason it's uber green, okay? So anything just about goes, just don't put sweet potato and potato in there because they're too starchy, and not too much carrot. Again, too high of starch content, it'll just be too thick. All right, and that'll last months in your fridge. If you haven't done this is the veggie stock, you've got to do it, okay? It is just phenomenal. It's preservative free, additive free, color free, and I use it in the place of beef stock cubes and chicken stock cubes and all that sort of stuff. This goes into it, and yes, and it does. It has 150 grams of salt, but you've got to remember a full jar of this stuff is equal to 40 liquid liters. 40, like that's huge. So that's, yeah, it goes a long way. So in 1 tablespoon of that, you're lucky to even get like an 1/8 of a thing of salt. It's minute, but what it also does is it lifts the flavor, and it also preserves it. Is your preserving element in there is your salt. Without the salt, it won't last as long, and it also certainly won't taste as good. And those who come to me and say, oh, the food's all bland out of the Thermomix, I say, do you use your stock? And if they say yes, I say, do you use all your salt? And they say no. So I can guarantee it comes down to that salt. So if you've not done it, challenge on, give it a go. So 20 minutes, 100 degrees, Speed 1, off that goes, let it do its thing. If you want to be super organised for tomorrow, put your Varoma on top. You could steam some chicken on top, put baking paper under it to keep those juices away from your pumpkin soup, some eggs on top, some slices of veggies. There's so many things. Your boiled eggs will be done in 20 minutes and your Varoma on top. So even some strips of salmon, yum. But put baking paper under it, keep that juices away because you don't want them contaminating your, well actually it probably doesn't matter, it's pumpkin soup. Doesn't really matter if you've got salmon juice in there, right? However, you've now got 20 minutes to go do what you like. And this is the beauty of Thermomix cooking, is the fact that I am now hands-free to go explore this new place for the next 20 minutes, even longer. If I got distracted and I'm 40 minutes, an hour, it doesn't matter, because when I come back, I'll turn it on, go to the next step. It'll actually say, do you want to kick off where you left off? And I'll go, yes. And then it's going to ask me to blitz this. So it's going to say go to speed 4 and then increase gradually up to speed 9. And it's going to whiz it around for 1 minute. Don't hold your lid down. Don't hold your measuring cup. Just turn that dial. If you just go do something else. It's noisy. You don't want to stand there and watch it anyway. Come back, silky smooth soup ready for dinner. So that's it from me tonight. I hope I've inspired you to give soup a crack in your Thermomix if you've not tried it. I can highly recommend the creamy tomato soup. I think I did that last winter. Amazing. And certainly the pumpkin soup. It's a winner. I've done it at many cooking classes over the years and I highly recommend it. Never done it with cauliflower, but there's a first for everything today. So take care, guys. Let me know if I can answer any of your questions regarding the Thermomix. If I can support you to get more out of your Thermomix, please tune into these videos. You'll find me on YouTube. You'll find me on my website, tmxingadventures.com.au. TMXing with a T. Think BMXing, but with a T. And obviously on Facebook as well. So every day here supporting you to get more out of Thermomix. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye guys.